What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the 40K Cafe, and thank you, Count Von Clout, for the request. Right here is a list of all the World Eater librarians that are alive. In all seriousness, though, the World Eaters did used to have a Librarius, but their story is extremely tragic. When Angron was discovered, as many of us know, he would demand that all the World Eaters be implanted with the Butcher's Nails, a techno-barbaric device that would eventually drive its user mad, numbing all of their emotions save for the desire to butcher and maim. And as I just stated, it would drive everybody mad, but the effects would work doubly so for any of the Librarius. So the World Eater librarians that were equipped with the Butcher's Nails would end up going insane and not be able to control their psychic powers. You see, tapping into the warp is a very delicate procedure. It is not something that one can just do whimsically and expect no consequences. And when the mind of a librarian slowly becomes shattered due to the Butcher's Nails and they can no longer focus in channeling their powers, it is only a matter of time that they would eventually pop. And that is quite literally what happened to some of them. Some of them would quite literally burst at the attempt of using their powers, while others would go mad trying to control their powers and end up unaliving their fellow allies. Eventually, the resolution for the librarians that were implanted with the Butcher's Nails would be one of two decisions: undergo an operation to remove the Butcher's Nails, or offer your head and be executed. But here's the thing, in order to remove the Butcher's Nails, it may as well be an execution, as it will unalive the wearer. And despite knowing this fact, many of the librarians would attempt to remove the Butcher's Nails. To absolutely nobody's surprise, they would all perish. And what remained were only a handful librarians of the World Eaters that never received the implantation. These Space Marines of the World Eaters were ostracized, looked at outcasts, and not fellow kin. Where they once had a legion filled with brothers, they were now reduced to a handful that could only rely on each other. And as the World Eaters would continue on throughout their ages, the librarian would never be rebolstered. So what ended up happening to those last few librarians that survived? To keep a long story short, in an attempt for Lorgar to get Angron to ascend to daemonhood, he would begin an incantation ritual. And during this ritual, the last few librarians would attempt to fight for the purity of Angron's soul, or at least whatever purity remained. Ultimately, seeing as Angron ascended to daemonhood, we know that they failed. This would not only mark the end of the last moments of these librarians, but the ending of all the librarians in the World Eaters forever. I'm not sure if you would call this fun information, for throughout their history, it was just tragic. And even in their last moments, they would remain loyal sons to their father. So Count, with that being said, thanks again for the request, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. Drop a comment if there's anything you want to hear about next, and as always, remember to follow for more.